اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم.
The Islamic civilization was the greatest civilization in the Middle Ages, and is considered one of the main bases of the modern civilization. While the medieval centuries are well known in the Western world as the Dark Ages, the Arab civilization was shining on the West. Muslim scientists and inventors were probably hundreds of years ahead of the counterparts in the European Middle Ages. The Muslims made innumerable discoveries and wrote countless books about medicine, surgery, physics, chemistry, philosophy, astrology, geometry, and various other fields. Jabir ibn Hayyan, pioneer of chemistry, is credited with the discovery and description of many now commonplace chemical substances and processes such as the hydrochloric and nitric acids, distillation, and crystallization that have become the foundation of today's chemistry and chemical engineering. Muhammad ibn Musa al-Khwarizmi, he has been described as the father or the founder of algebra. The term algebra itself comes from the title of his book المختصر في حساب الجبر والمقابلة, the compendious book in calculation by completion and balancing. Thabit ibn Qurra is considered one of the first reformers of the Ptolemaic system, and in mechanics he was a founder of statics. Abu Bakr Razi's Sigrid Honka, a German Orientalist, described him in her book The Arab Sun Shining on the West as the greatest civilization of humanity ever, as he wrote the book Al-Hawi in Medicine, which included all medical knowledge from the days of the Greeks until the year 925 AD, and remained the main medical reference in Europe for 400 years. Abu al-Qasim al-Zahrawi, his book At-Tasrif, a 30-volume encyclopedia of medical practices. The surgery chapter of this work was later translated into Latin, attaining popularity and becoming the standard textbook in Europe for the next 500 years. He pioneered the use of catgut for internal stitches, and his surgical instruments are still used today to treat people. Hassan ibn al-Haytham, he is known in the West as Al-Hazan, with doubt the father of optics, and to him the principles of the invention of the camera are attributed. He was the first to describe how the eye was anatomically constructed and explain the functions of its parts. His main work, Book of Optics, also mentions an equation of the fourth degree about the reflection of light on spherical mirrors, which is still known as Al-Hasan's problem. The impact crater Al-Hasan on the moon is named in his honor, as was asteroid Al-Hasan. Ibn Sina, Avicena or Avicenna, who is known in the West as the Prince of Physician. Among his most famous work is the Book of Healing, a vast philosophical and scientific encyclopedia. His book, The Canon of Medicine, was used as a standard medical text at many universities in Europe until the 17th century. Ibn Rushd, Averroes, an Arab philosopher and scholar who is best known in the West for his commentaries on Aristotle's works and on Plato's. Many of his books were used in European universities until the 19th century. Ibn Nafis, an Arab physician, described the pulmonary circulation more than 300 years before William Harvey, and so many others. Finally, we don't say this compared to others, but for Muslim youth to see the glorious history, to be an incentive for them to take the same path, so that the future will be an extension of their great past. The first verse that descended on the Prophet Muhammad was read, opening the door to read, write, and seek knowledge. But knowledge is of no use if it is not crowned with morality. On the contrary, it may lead to a horrific end because of desires and greed.
فلنسلك للعلم السبل ولنصنع للأمة أملا لنجدد تاريخ المجد ونكون النحلة والعسل.
My Lord, increase me in knowledge. Amen.